Okay, today I'm going to be tearing down my Tavor pretty much step by step to actually do a thorough cleaning on the inside. And the first thing you want to do is safety check it. Nothing in the chamber. Basically you want to keep the hammer cocked so you can pull out the bolt carrier group, which is simple enough. Just punch this pin out. Remove the bolt carrier group. And the next step is, let's see, basically want to take off the fore end, which is just connected by these two screws. And then the fore end, you just want to pull down on the front, and it just slides right off. And for the next step, I want to take off the rail, which is basically just connected by these two Allen bolts. And after I did the conversion, the left-handed conversion on this, I actually Loctited everything, so it seems to be working okay. Now I'm not going to be doing this step by step from what the instructions say. I'm just going to do it kind of based on what I remember. Let's see, I love when this magnetic shit doesn't work, and basically that will just pop right off. And for the next step, to remove the charging handle group, let's see, I believe the next step is to remove the QD sling mount up front, which is basically you just take a punch, stick it in the cotter pin, and pull that straight up. Make sure you don't lose that because the thing is tiny. And then basically just, I'll probably fast forward through this part, but and as you can see, it's pretty much made, so it's not going to come off. I mean, it takes forever to unscrew that. Here's the bolt that holds it on. Then you want to punch out. There's a pin on the inside, or there's a part of the QD sling mount in there. You just kind of want to punch that out. Jesus. Okay, I had to take a small break there. This QD sling mount was stuck in there pretty good. I took a flathead screwdriver just a little bit and just pried it, just the littlest amount. I mean, it didn't even mar the gun at all. Okay, and for the next step, I think pretty much the bolt carrier group should just come, or the charging handle group should just come right off. Now it says in the instructions, these bottom parts, you kind of want to spread it apart. You gotta make sure the charging handle's all the way back. I always kind of seem to forget to do that. And then the bolt carrier, or the charging handle group, keeps coming out, or just comes right out. Now if you have a big flash suppressor or a bigger muzzle brake on here, you might actually have to remove that to pull this out. Because when you spread this apart, it gives you enough leverage. So you can see here, when you spread this apart, it gives you enough leverage to actually pull this up right before the suppressor nut. Pull that up and then just comes straight out. And for the next step, we're going to actually remove the barrel. You know, I want to do a thorough cleaning on that and just kind of clean all around it. And to do that, you need the barrel wrench, which the first time I did this, I just taped up a screwdriver, stuck it in here, and it kind of marred it up a little bit. But now that I have a barrel wrench, it should make everything a lot easier. You just basically stick here, and this barrel wrench gives you enough leverage. You can just kind of crank on it, and you want to turn it clockwise, probably about maybe a half a turn. And also you got to take a, hopefully like a punch, and then stick it in this hole right here and push down, and take the barrel wrench and move it 180. Should be able to remove the barrel right now. The barrel comes right out. You know, here's the gas tube and the gas block and basically the chamber. Pretty simple. It was a lot easier than the first time I did it. And then the next process would be to remove the, I believe they call this the gas tube assembly or gas block assembly. This is basically where the piston goes in and contacts the gas tube. That comes right out. Pretty dirty. I haven't cleaned it since I actually been shooting it. And there you go, basically a stripped down Tavor. I could take out the trigger pack, but I got no use to do that, or I got no reason to do that today. So it's basically knocking these two pins out. Actually, I might as well show you. Just undo these two pins, pull this down, and the trigger pack falls right out. You know, pretty simple. Make sure you don't touch the sear, else it'll throw the hammer for it and could damage the housing on the trigger pack. Now, these pins always seem to give me just a pain in the ass problems. I don't know why they're so difficult to actually get back in. But, and there you go. I'm going to kind of do my routine maintenance, and then I'll probably put it back together and show you then. Okay, just like on an AR, basically you have the upper receiver and the lower receiver, and this is kind of what you consider to be the upper receiver of the Tavor. You know, you got the bolt carrier group back here, then the barrel with the chamber, the gas block. You can kind of see how this is all connected. The charging rod basically goes right through here, through the glass, the cover and the debris shield right here, and then contacts the bolt, which charges it and pushes it back. I kind of been having some issues lately. It seems like when I charge it, I get a little bit of friction about the last inch and a half. It just seems like it's binding up against something. And that's kind of one of the key reasons why I'm taking it apart today, is kind of figure out why it's binding up or why there's some extra friction. So as you see, it kind of, if this was in the Tavor, you know, well, it's going to be kind of hard to do it right here, but as you charge it back, this basically goes all the way back and then comes forward. You can kind of see how that works. And like, looking at it right now, I really don't see any reason why it'd be binding up. I mean, I don't see anything that's wrong. Maybe something came loose while I was shooting it that day. It's usually right about there is where I kind of felt the excess friction. I don't know, maybe I'll just try and lube it up. It kind of almost feels like it's coming from in here, like something on the charging handle is getting maybe caught up, or maybe I just need to shave it or file it down just a little bit right in there. It's kind of weird, I wasn't having that problem before. Like after I think about 450 rounds is when it kind of developed, and I did have some failure to feeds, about a dozen of them last time I went up there, and it was because the bolt wasn't actually catching the round to chamber it. I don't really see anything wrong with the bolt. I mean, I don't see any wear or any problems, so I guess I'll just clean it, put it back together, you know, and see what happens. Okay, I just got done cleaning my rifle, and it's time to put it back together. The first thing you want to start with is the gas tube, and you basically got to spread these just a little bit apart, or even just put downward pressure on this for it to slide back in. It should just go fit right back in there. And then don't forget the debris shield, and make sure that hole is oriented, and whether it's right-handed or left-handed. Mine will be, the hole for mine will be on the right side since I'm a left-hander, or it's configured in left-handed configuration. Make sure that's tight against the back wall. The next thing is the barrel. Now when installing the barrel, you want to make sure this part of the gas tube fits in that part of the gas block. And as simple as just sliding it in. Make sure those two pieces are really, really tight. I think a lot of gas actually escapes from there. You know, it'd kind of be nice if they had more of a gasket than that plastic debris shield. And then for the next part, you want to take the barrel wrench, stick it back in there, and then you don't actually have to depress this since it's already depressed. Now you can actually watch as this rotates, and it'll lock it right back into place. There is quite a bit of tension going back in there when the barrel goes back in, but now it's pretty much solid. And let's see, for the next piece, we want to put back in the charging handle and the cocking group. We want to make sure the handle's all the way back. And then when this slides in, you want to kind of align it with the debris shield. As you can tell, I'm not very good at this. And there's these kind of grooves and rails right here. You want to make sure those parts align with the part of the Tavor and actually go inside. See, I kind of misaligned it on that one. You want to take that back out and spread these. God damn, I'm just making this look professional. It should just slide right into place. For some reason that's not aligning right. What the fuck? There we go. Just put a little downward pressure and hurt it click into place. Everything seems to be okay right there. And for the next part, I'm going to actually install the foregrip first. And there's a little tab under here. You just want to put that underneath and kind of rotate that upwards. And then when you're putting these back in, I always Loctite them. I haven't had a problem with it yet. As you can probably tell, I'm not an armorer, Pretty much everything I know about guns, I'm pretty much self-taught or learned on YouTube. Oh, son of a bitch. This is probably easier with a flathead. That's probably what it should have been using the whole time. Actually, I think I'll go grab one real quick. Just make sure it gets tightened.